Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, I brought in this elm forest because this tree here has always kind of bugged me. I collected all these trees. They're just common elms, white elm I think they are. And again, they were just collected on the side of the road, just growing as whips. And some of them had big chops. This one here, I just kept the bottom branch, chopped it there and things. And I've just basically been growing them. If you watched one of my last videos I did was of an elm which was a root over rock, and I put it onto the Bogwood. That was another one of these, but it had some nice movement on it, so I kind of put that one separate, and these ones I kept. Well, these ones were in separate little pots, but then I decided to make a forest of them. But these three here were all already joined together, so I planted them. But now I think I'm going to have to go in and cut through there with a saw and hopefully stand that one up straight, and hopefully we can separate them enough and keep them all alive. Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of an operation on that. Speaking of the other one I did on the Bogwood, somebody was saying to me about it rotting, the Bogwood rotting away, but that isn't like, I don't know, maybe they thought it was just a stump of wood, old wood or something, but it's actually bogwood, which is collected over here in Ireland. They collect it in the peat for bogs, where they collect peat, and some of the oldest bogwood in the world has been found here. And I have, if you might seen my big black piece with my junipers on it, that's bog oak, and the oak is black, and when it's black like that it normally means it's over 6,000 years old, so it's like turned into almost stone at this stage. So I've had them bits of wood for probably 10 years now, and they were in my fish tanks for a long time, for a few years and things like that, and they've been in my garden and they don't rot. It's just basically like stone. When the black one I had to cut in half because it was too big to fit in my fish tank, so I cut it into two pieces so I could slot the two of them in, and I had to use an angle grinder to cut that because like that, it's just black all the way through, like holes cut through it, so there's no fear of it rotting. It'll outlive the trees and outlast the trees, and definitely outlast me. So yeah, that's why I use bogwood. So anyway, back to this. So I'm going to try and get these out. I don't really need to do anything with the other trees if I can get these out, but I would say they're probably all entwined, and I'm probably going to have to do a kind of more of a full repot, or at least try and divide it here if I can. So we'll get into that. We'll put our little deer out the way so you can go up there until we're done. Right, I'll show if these are wired in. Yep, they're wired in, so we'll see about getting them out. There's a wire here, wire here, wire here, and a wire here, so I'll undo these two and we'll see if we can get half of it out even. If not, then I'll have to do the whole lot. So these just grow around here, and I was just driving along the road one day in one of the country lanes and things we have around, and they just were in the side on the side of the road, just growing basically on the dust and dirt that collects from the cars, and there'd be tractors and stuff going up and down, so the soil being dropped, and then they grow there just on the side of the road, so I collect them whenever I see them. I did the same with some oaks that I collected. Even my staghorn trees a little forest of them, which I'm going to have to bring and do a bit of a work on as well. They were just collected on the side of the road as well, so I'm always keeping my eyes out. Okay, so we've got some movement here on this side. I think I'm going to have to take the whole lot out. See if we can get it out now. This way. It's just catching somewhere. Okay. Straighten it up. So let's get that. Move this up for a minute. Now, put space again here. Put some of this stuff out the way. And we'll just bring up my tray so we can put it into that. Okay, so we've got to try to divide these if I can. We'll bring it without disturbing everything else. Then good. Be as badly tangled as I was expecting, so hopefully comes apart easy enough. So the Bogwood, they've dated Bogwood back to BC. They're found here in the Midlands and in Ireland. They collect it when they're digging for turf and that. They find it buried in the black oak. That's the really valuable stuff. The black oak. Jet black, like that. If anybody's seen my video of it, I'll be doing another one soon of it anyway. It needs to be sorted out, so we'll have a look at it then. But if it's black like that and that, I reckon it's a minimum of 6,000 years old. So it's pretty ancient. So definitely no fear of it rotting anytime soon. Brown Bogwood is normally either pine or yew. In here, I'm going to have to cut that one. This long root we're going to have to cut as well. we just need to divide through here. Root on the top here, I'm not too sure which tree it's coming from. It's coming from this one, alright. I'm wondering, do I need to do a full repot on this? While I have it out. It is getting pretty choked up, as you can see. So maybe I'll have to clear off all the trees and repot them. Oh, there's a new starting again. Trim back some of these roots. Hoping there weren't going to be too much, but and I could just plot that back in and the other bit back in and just rearrange these, but I definitely think I'm going to have to do a repot on them, full repot. So it's going to take me a while, so I may as well pause the video and we'll work on getting them out of the untangling them all, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've got that tree separated now. I did have to cut a couple of roots. Now what I'm going to do, rather than stripping all these trees and separating them all individually, I'm just going to treat them as one tree. They're all so intertwined and stuff with each other. So I'm just going to create space, basically, for some fresh soil. Just loosen them up a bit. Take some of the bottom. To trim them back a little bit, and then it won't be so dramatic and drastic for them. It'll just give them a bit of fresh soil to grow into and a bit of space. And we'll just try and around the edges get rid of some of these longer roots. So entwined with each other. Scrape back the top a little bit, and that's basically what I'll do. Is I'll just treat that as one tree. So I'm going to move this out the way, and we'll have a look at this one and try dividing it up. And then we'll go back to working on them. So this one, I do want to bare root it if I can, or almost bare root it at least, so that we can get in here and cut between the two and try and make sure we get the right roots on the right side. Let's do a tidying wire, get rid of that now. Make out there where the three trees, but there's a line there where they've actually joined together. This root is right in the middle. So we want to be cutting down through there. So we need to create a division in the roots. hopefully. That gives us a clear path through that side. And we need to do the same on this side. Okay, what I will do is I'll take this out and just give this a wash, and then we'll be able to see a lot better what we're dealing with, so that we can, there's a big root here coming across, so that could be a bit of a job. We're going to have to cut that off altogether, try and get out the bulk of the soil. Go and wash it. Okay, I'll go and wash it and we'll have a look then. Okay, so we haven't washed. The problem now I'm going to have is, I cut through here, I've got some roots on this side, there's nothing underneath, and then the roots are all coming off this root that's going across here for this tree. So I think what I need to do is kind of come down there and then try and keep some of these roots for this time, and hope that more roots come out this side, and I take this root off at a late stage. We might be able to cut it back a bit, but I need to just go down as far as there if I can first of all. So we'll get our saw and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so again, these roots, there's a root here which is coming from this tree, but it's just at this stage it's just moulded in over here, so it's going to have to be cut off as well. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. Hoping that that root there isn't joined up here, that it'll actually peel away. Okay, we can maybe do a bit on here. Okay, it's through, and that root is separate, so that's good. So we'll just clean that off a bit, and hopefully now with this cut we'll get some roots coming out here, and eventually we'll be able to trim off all this bottom. Okay, we'll take it back a bit, reduce it back. So we take it off there for now. So we'll look at that, won't work. Well, there's a big root underneath here. In fact, there is. If you look, the roots are actually coming out the one underneath, not this one. So we can probably take this one off completely. And there's these smaller ones underneath. Now, can I take that big one off under there? I think we'll have to. Just trim these back a little bit like that. I don't want to go crazy with it because I've just done a big drastic cut on it. think now, like at a late stage, we'll take off this, but I don't want to take it off yet, not while there's so little root on it. This guy, these are all okay. On this side, this root is coming out here and back in here, so I need to untangle that a bit. That's the root that was crossing. This tree here has literally no root, just this one. So I'm hoping that the energy is coming from these up into this tree. If not, we're going to have a dead tree in the forest. But it must have been getting energy from somewhere, so I presume it's from some of these roots. Let's trim this one back a bit. Okay, I'm not going to do any more with these. I'm just going to replant them for now and let it recover this year, and maybe next year we'll take it out and see can we prune them back a little bit. So we'll get up the other trees now. Clean this back off again. I'll just give these a bit more of a cleaning off. So I'll pause and then we'll come back and have a look. Okay, so I've given these guys a bit of a wash. So now I'm just going to give them a little bit of a root pruning. Some of these roots that are growing straight up or too long, get rid of. They always had a little bit of a good root spread because they were growing, even as young, they were growing basically on the road, so the rooting couldn't really grow down far. So you can see it's starting to get a half decent root spread, but to be honest with you, forests, they're always going to entangle with each other and spread around the whole part, so they do then tend to. Where's that one going? Okay, I think that'll do for this. I'm not going crazy with these for root pruning and stuff. Long ones off. And that'll do for that guy. And the next ones, I didn't bother separating two. It was just, they were just so entangled, and I don't think there's a lot of root on this one, so I don't want to go ripping the roots. And find I'm pulling the wrong root out and take more and more off that one. These are just the roots from the other tree that I have to cut. Wire and tie down wire 2 is in there, so we'll get that out. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've got the trees ready. I've just put a bit of a base layer in here, the drainage screens. Might be a little bit much in there, but we'll see. I've just put in 2 tie downs just for this big guy and the little one. The end one should be okay. So, where to start now? Well, if I start with these 2, this guy's go at this end. I kind of didn't do a ton of pruning on these, cleaning out on these 2. I just left the 2 of them joined, so I don't want to damage the roots too much. On this one, I don't know if it's got a lot of root on it, so I didn't want to take a chance. The soil might be a bit deep. We're going to get it right in there. I'm going to just this side just a little bit. Straighten this tree. Okay, so they were kind of like that. And then this small guy was just in the front here. Too sure how I had this one. Maybe it was tucked in under there like that. Okay, so why I can tie that one down back there. Now, got these ones. Whoop. I have this one. Quite a narrow pot this, so and now I have this one. I wonder how did I have these in? If that was there, would have been pretty. Around so it's more facing out that way. Need this one to be here more. It was too big to be going back there. I can't really have the tall ones on the outside. They have to be kind of in the middle. Definitely want to be. I think this guy's got to go as far back into this corner. Maybe I'll turn him that way. Not too bad. That is a nicer front in the branch wise. That doesn't look too bad. That will give us a bit more room then. This guy to go in the front here. He's got to go this way to keep the chop to the back. Too worried about the branches up top. We can always change the branches and work on the branch structure. Wondering, should I have retained these a bit more? Give me more room to push this one over more. And that one can go in there better. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. So I'll get them all tied in, and then, or we'll tie in these ones, and then we'll put the soil on, and then we'll come and have a look, because the video's going on a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, so I've worked it in, all the soil. I took my time and just kept going round and round and round to get all the trees. They're pretty solid now. You gotta, especially with forests, get them, keep working and working on them. And then I've just put a layer of the finer stuff over the top. So I'm just going to wet that down now a little bit. And we'll be giving it all a good soaking when we put it outside. Just give the pot a bit of a clean as well. It's a bit. This was the back of the pot outside. It's a bit of algae and stuff growing on it. Okay, so let's get some moss on. Kind of a little bit loose at the moment because of the soil being a bit dry, but once we give it a good soak in the moss, then will attach itself a bit better. We have a path maybe going through the middle of the trees. We have it going from here. We're leading back there. When I soak this, I'll push all the moss down in a bit more. The soil is wet, it's going to be able to squash into it. bit more moss. Okay, so I think we're done. Let's have a look at it. Yes, so definitely prefer now that tree standing up straight. Maybe the next time I repot this, I'll maybe put it in a different pot. We'll get more of a wider pot. We'll spread the trees out a bit. But I do like this pot. It's just something different. A narrow forest, different to my other forests and things. So I just think it's just nice. And when it's all covered in leaf, it has quite a small leaf. Not as small as a Chinese elm, but they do have quite a small leaf on them. All that's left is for our little doe deer to go back in, and we'll put her walking through between the trees there. Okay, so apologise for it being a bit long, this video, but I didn't expect to have to do what I did with the trees. I thought I was just going to get them out, cut them and put them back in, but at least we got it all repotted now. So I'll put it out on the bench, I'll give it a good watering, and hopefully they all recover, no problem, and we see some leaves growing soon. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.